Kakadosh Boker Or, Chodesh Tov, Masechet Zevachim, Daf Mem Amud Aleph 40a1. We're going to start right where it says like this. We just spoke about the Matan Arba. We're talking about the four presents. Whenever we're talking about the presents, we're talking about the giving of the blood. Okay, on the four karnot on the Mizbeach HaPnimi, on the inner Mizbeach. Minayin, how do we know that they are going to be ma'akev, the kapara? So it says, Samulomar comes to teach you, ken ya'aseh. This is what you have to do. So, Maishna Matan Sheva Dichtivan Ukfilan. Why does it say by the 7 that it's going to be ma'akev the kapara, right? And it says V'asa Akasher Asa Matan Arba also Nami Ktivan Ukfilan. It's also written the same thing. So why do we need an extra dirasha that it's going to be ma'akev the kapara? If it's because the way that it's written in the pasuk, the same way that it's written in the pasuk, the 7, and we know that the 7 impede, right? You need to do the 7, so it was by 4. So Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah comes and he says, Lo nitzicha ela Rabbi Shimon. That's talking about Rabbi Shimon. The Tanyas we learned in the Braita, Lemala. What do you mean Lemala? Lemala Omer, Keren. Karnot, Shtaim. When it says Keren, but it's mashma 1. When it says Karnot, it's mashma 2. Lemata Omer, above, below it says Keren, Karnot. It also says 1 and then 2. Rabbi Shimon. These are the words of Rabbi Shimon, which means like this. If Shte Matanot for every single one of the parim, so it's mashma then that it's a kesh between the par Kohen Mashiach and par Elim Davar Zelazeh, that what? That we're coming and we're saying that you have to give minimum 4. These are the words of Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Eno tzarich, I don't need a drasha. Sharia Omer, but it already says in the Ol Moed. Al kol ha'omur b'Ol Moed, everything which is on Ol Moed. So therefore, since it's all the arba karnot and the Ol Moed, so everything is included. So you need all 4 in order to be Yotzei Chovah. Rabbi Yehuda, and according to Rabbi Yehuda, Ken Ya'aseh, what does he do with the word Ken Ya'aseh? Meaning, if you're going to tell me now Ken Ya'aseh, so that means you have to do the Matan Arba, meaning you have to do the 4, just like the 7, because you have to do the same. But what are you going to do with the words then Ken Ya'aseh? So Mibayle Lechdetanya, you need it for that which is written. Lefi shelo lamanu lepar Yom Kippurim smicha shirei adam minayin, right? Because we didn't explain the par Yom Kippurim for smicha and shirei adam. How do we know then? So Talmud Lomar comes to teach you Ken Ya'aseh. Okay, so he comes and he says, Ulpar Yom Kippurim lo lamanu, ha'amarta, you told us, lapar, c'est par Yom Kippurim. So itzrich, so you needed it. Sal kadaita chamina, I would have thought to say, hanamile, one of these words, avodah de me'akva kapara, it's davka by the avodah, which is going to be me'akev the kapara, aval avodah de lo me'akva kapara, but if it's going to be avodah, which is not me'akev the kapara, emalo, I would say no. Kamash Manan comes to teach you, right, that's exactly what we're saying, Ken Ya'aseh, is that we have to be mashveh, the par Yom Kippurim, par Elim Davar, exactly the same. Also to do with smicha and shfichat hashirayim. That means also do the leaning of the animal and also the spilling of the blood. Selamim shos. B'diuk oto davar. Par elem davar. And par Yom Kippurim oto davar. Rabbi Shimon, and according to Rabbi Shimon, Hai be'ol moed ma'yavile. What does he do? So he says be'ol moed mibayle. It should have been needed be'ol moed. She'im nifchata tikra shel ha'echal. Because if right now it broke the tikra of the hechal, lo haya mazeh. He wouldn't have sprinkled it. Ve'idach, another one. It says Asher. So again, you're going back and forth. Is he Doresh the word, not Doresh the word? It says the word Asher. He's not Doresh the word Asher because when it says Asher, it's much better if it breaks the Tikra of the Oel Moed, so therefore they wouldn't sprinkle at all. So Abaye says, Rabbi Yehuda Nami Yitzrich. For Rabbi Yehuda, they needed it. Salkata would have thought to say, it's going to be like the smicha and shirei adam. Dafakav the ktivan ukfilan lo me'akva, that it's not going to be me'akev. Matan arba nami lo titekev. Kamash Malan comes to teach you that it is going to be me'akev. Okay? 1 second. So Abaye was basically saying that according to Rabbi Yehuda, also we need it. Because even though it's written twice, right, meaning it's written in ukfilan lo me'akva, it's not going to be me'akev. So Matan arba also it's not going to be me'akev. Kamash Malan that it is going to be me'akev. So now it says the Gemara. The par. When it says par, it means par Yom Kippurim. Okay, for what halacha is this for? Illa keviv, it's going to make it impede. Shita, obviously, chuka ktivba. It's written chuka. So Amrav Nachman Yitzchak says Nachman Yitzchak lo nitzicha ella Rabbi Yehuda. This is only according to Rabbi Yehuda. Dama ki ktiva. When is it going to be written? Chuka advarim anasim b'bigdei lavan befnim. Only in things which are done with bigdei lavan on the inside. Shemigdim ma'aseh lechavero lo asav lo klum. Because if you did one thing before the other, it's nothing. Aval dvarim anasim bigdei lavan b'chutz. But if it's going to be dvarim which are going to be on the bigdei lavan on the outside, higdim ma'aseh lechavero masha yasui. Whatever is done is done. Eima. So why don't we just say then? Midi kesidran lo me'akve. It's not going to be me'akev. Hazau nami lo me'akev. It's not going to be me'akev. So Kamash Malan comes teach you la par. Okay, so Matkifla Rav Papa comes and he asks, Umi Matzitamar, can you actually say that? Vatanya, we learned in the Braita, V'chila mi kaper et kodesh. Shim kiper kila, v'im lo kiper lo kila, divrei Rav Akiva. Amalo Rabbi Yehuda says, Nema lo ne'emar, what does it say it? V'im lo kila lo kiper. So he says, Amar Rav Papa lo nitzecha ela et badam and tvila. That means that you should have these words, that it's going to be noheg also in Par Yom Kippurim. Et, Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov nitzecha lelachshir. We're talking about lachshir, right? Amin shebeemtza, right? Daf Mem Amud Bet 40b. This is the amin is a yabalot, right? In the etzba, which means that it's not considered a chatzitza. So, for example, how do you say yabelet in English? It's like a wart. I think it's called a wart in English. That means if a person has a wart, a yabelet, right, on his etzba, the kohen we're talking about, so it's not considered a chatzitza. So he could actually work and he could do the hazah badam, right, with this wart. Okay, badam. When it says badam, sheyeh badam shiur tefillah meikara, that it has to be badam, the shiur of tefillah from the beginning, right? That means when they're accepting it in the utensil. V'taval, right? When it says v'taval, he has to dip his finger. Velo misapeg, meaning he cannot be mekaneach his finger afterwards. So it means like this: he puts his finger inside. He cannot afterwards come and like on the side start taking off the excess. He puts it inside, בפנים, ויוצא, לא להסתפג. אתה שומע? שלא ייפגע מושבו. Yeah? So, ויצטרך למכתב, and you need to be written, ותבל, ויצטרך למכתב, בדם. Right? די כתב, if the Torah was written, ותבל, הווה מן, I would have thought, say, אף על גב דלק השיעור תפילה מעיקר, even if it doesn't have the שיעור תפילה at the beginning, כתב רחמנה בדם. So, therefore, it told you to בדם, that it has to have the שיעור בדם. וכתב רחמנה בדם, הווה מן, אפילו מספג, even if you could clean it off. Katav Rachmana v'taval. Has to be a tevilah, and then you have to sprinkle. You cannot come and take it off. Mizbach ketoret asamim lamali. Why do I need to be written in the mizbach ketoret asamim? Shim lo nitchanecha mizbech b'ketoret asamim lo yamazeh. If they didn't do first the ketoret asamim is the ketoret. If they didn't do the ketoret, the kohen would not come and sprinkle the blood. Meaning the sprinkling of the blood could only be done after the ketoret. Okay? Tane kavatet Rav Papa. So we learned in accordance to Rav Papa. The asa kasher asa matamulumar, right? Lapar. When it says vasa and then it says kasher asa, so what does it come to teach you the word lapar? The labot par yom kippurim l'chol ma'asher b'minyan. Everything is included. Divrei Rabbi. These are the words of Rabbi. Amar Rabbi Ishmael, says Rabbi Ishmael, it's a kavachomer. Uma b'makom shelo ushva korban lekorban hishva ma'asin ma'asin. If it's going to be that you're not going to have ushva shaveh, one korban to another korban, you're going to be mashveh the maasim, one korban to another korban. Makom sheishva korban lekorban. And odin sheishva maasim, so for sure it should be equal then. Should have the same halachot. Okay? Sorry. Thank you. So he says, Matamul lapar. So what does it come and teach you then, the word lapar? Zepar elem davar shel tzibur, lepar ze kol Mashiach. When it says lapar, right, it's par elem davar shel tzibur. And when it says again lepar, that's the par kol Mashiach. So it means basically it's coming to teach you that the word lapar is coming to teach you at Badam that it's going to have the same tvila, which is going to be in the Par Yom Kippurim, the same halachot of the tvila, that you have to dip the finger, has to have enough blood inside, plus you cannot dry off the finger on the sides. You can't, I don't know, you want to call it, wipe it off on the sides. Okay? Amar More says, Uma b'makom shelo ushva korban lekorban. If they did not equal, right, if they did not equate the one korban to another korban, Milo ushva korban lekorban. If you're going to tell me now, Par Yom Kippurim, Usi Yom Kippurim, Ikal Mifrach, so you could ask, Mala Hanach, what about the other one? Sheken Nichnas Damam, Nifrar Lifnim, the blood goes inside. Meaning we know that the Par Yom Kippurim, Par Kol Mashiach, the blood goes inside. So it's not really the exact same thing. So he says, Ella Barada, Par Helem Davar Shel Tzibur Sirev Chovim Ikal Mifrach, you could ask, Mala Hanach, Sheken Mechaprim, Al Averot, Mitzvah Yudua. It's going to be mechaper, right? It's going to be mechaper on averot, which is known. Meaning we know that he says over here that the Par Yom Kippurim and Par Kol Mashiach is not exactly the same. Because Par Yom Kippurim is mechaper on avera, which is not yadua. The other one is only on something which is yadua. Ela barather. Par elem davar shel tzibur v'tzad shel Yom Kippurim v'achi kamar. This is what he say. Uma b'makom shelo ushvu korban lekorban. The high par, the high sa'ir. This is a par and this is a sa'ir. Ushvu maasin. Ma dichtiv behu. שהושווה קורבן לקורבן, דהי פר והי פר, אינו דין שהושבו מעשים למעשים. This shouldn't be the same halacha. So he says, but rather, ואתה par Yom Kippurim, right? And he's coming to teach you b'dam u'tefillah, right, in Parak Mashiach. So ati lei seir shel Yom Kippurim, seir of the Chovim, mikal vachomer. You're learning it from a kal vachomer.